You know, lately I've been accused by some of being too harsh on the whammons on social media. Which is funny because in all of my years of doing this, no woman has ever given me hell for my opinions on this issue. Well, at least not the ones whose opinions I actually care for. In fact, many a year ago, I openly said I don't think they should vote. And women in the comments section overwhelmingly agreed with that. So well done to those ladies, they have the wang wisdom. I think it's because they understand that for every smart one of them, there's about 1,000 idiots. And just through mathematics alone, they can foresee an improvement. And perhaps best of all, they have to do absolutely bugger all to achieve that. And they get to watch the idiots cope and seethe. Talk about a win-win. And I've said this many, many times now. If someone makes a generalization about a demographic that you belong to, but the generalization isn't used to judge you personally, then I don't see why people get upset, especially when I'm the one doing it. If you look at my social media, I damn near always give context and examples of the stupid thing that is currently spurring my opinion. It's probably why the ladies that get along with me, because they're annoyed by the same damn thing. Hell, half the time I post something about them that annoys me, it was probably a woman that sent it to me in the freaking first place. Glam and Vex come to mind. I'll say to the blokes this as well. Be known as the one that is outspoken about the opposite sex. Because the reality is, women get annoyed by other women, and they can't speak to women about it because, well, it'll cause a stupid argument and it'll go nowhere. So they will go to a guy they believe will understand their irritation with the hopes they will be blunt about it. Women have a tendency of just wanting someone to listen to their problem but not actually solve it. And this is one of the few times where that is understandable because the problem is the nature of their sex. I imagine if you're a woman who watches this channel, you're probably one of those ladies that can only handle your own sex in short bursts, otherwise they start annoying you. Trust us, we feel your pain. Oh, and speaking of pain, let me give you all an example.
Oh no!
It's a cultural divide. I'ma get it on the floor.
You really about to do it?
40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
This is not what we should be doing. I don't even know why we fighting with Greenland. Why we fighting with Greenland? We fighting with Canada. We fighting with Mexico. Yet we in love with Putin. What is happening? Like, this is not America. This is a terrible nightmare. Somebody slap me and wake me the fuck up because I'm ready to get on with it.
Yeah, stereotypes exist for a reason, people. They're true. Apparently, this one heard AOC say, I'm the thickest sandwich in all of Congress, and this one went, hold my beer.
It is not a criminal violation to enter the country illegally.
It's amazing the one type of competition where they don't kneecap each other is when the attention-seeking currency is stupidity. Less sex, shock, and stupid. You know what's odd, though? There's a video of her before she sounded like this, where she has mannerisms akin to Candace Owens, funnily enough. However, now that she sounds like ghetto street trash, Bill Maher had to go at her for her code of conduct, or rather lack thereof, actually. And as usual, all the race grifters come scurrying out, rearing their ugly heads. When it's a black conservative, you damn near have a hard-R pass. But when it's a black liberal, oh, you're an oppressive arsehole applying that white standard. Which goes to show you, they don't give a damn about race. It's just politics. The race card only gets pulled out when it's convenient, and that's about it. You know what's funny, though? A lot of people, because of the above, said the ghetto version is fake. And I thought, well, hang on a moment there. What if, though, her constituents actually sound like that? Because if that's the case, it may not be authentically her, but she would be, by democracy as theorized, an authentic politician. Now hold on though, it's gonna get even worse.
Women are kinda
Stupid, really?
Kinda? What do you mean kinda?
I mean really fucking stupid.
Bloody hell, and I thought the red sniffle season was beyond face-palmingly absurd. Did these wankers just look back at the dancing and go, well, that was totally a win, let's just copy that, or...
I don't know how to respond to this. This is so... I'm so overwhelmed with the cringe.
Yeah, you and me both, Pewt. I honestly don't know what to say to this. I really don't. Oh wait, no, yes I do.
Women, huh? God, I hate them.
100% accurate. Where's the lie? Where is the lie? Fantastic.
Maybe it's because I'm old school variety, but I'm of the belief that you should traverse the world as if you're an ambassador for your group. Because I live in this world of action-reaction, where what you do has consequences. You're earning a six-figure salary and this is the bollocks you voluntarily crank out to share with the world. Why? Have you no shame? You're supposed to be a political representative. How does this pathetic slop represent any of your policies? Do you have any idea how this reflects on not only your sex but also the nation itself? Do you have any objectively good legislation victories you can even tout? Do you even do anything, when you aren't acting like a narcissistic f***? Because one could argue if you have the time to do this kind of cringy bullshit, you are nothing more than a burden on the taxpayer and a disgrace to the very concept of statecraft. No one featured in this abomination should ever have a say in politics. Hell, same goes for anyone who approves of this or finds it appropriate. I cannot believe this is where we're at in 2025. We have more access to information than any period in human history. And what do people do with it? Oh yeah, produce cringe potent enough to merit a damn criminal offense. It actually makes me embarrassed that this is the current state of Western civilization. We have smart electronics, yet the stupidest people. I pray they did this by themselves and they weren't advised to do so by some kind of committee, because holy shit, that would be depressing. What if the committee got paid? That's somehow even worse. Whenever I see this kind of stuff, I always wonder what our ancestors would think of us. If you took, say, Joseph de Maistre or Jean d'Aumar or Robert Filmer, defenders of royal absolutism or divine right of kings, or hell, even John Locke, although with him you can say, this is how your social contract theory works out in practice, you pillock, well done. I mean, they're all Christian and believe it's a vital component to competent statecraft. Well, at least the former bunch anyway. The diversity and failed melting pot disaster would no doubt get some comments, not to mention the sheer ugliness of our architecture might depress them into a state of debilitating despair. I honestly believe if you tried to explain to them the concept of political correctness and universal suffrage after they've seen the results like this firsthand, I imagine they would think their descendants are all either possessed or mentally disabled. I'm not exaggerating, I sincerely believe they would all think we're insane. Like, how do you think I became a monarchist? It's because of wank like this. Action, reaction. Before I used to think, well, maybe they shouldn't vote. The results kind of speak for themselves, really. Now I think, ugh, this sounds like cringe progressive reform. No. They shouldn't be involved in politics, period. Politics is for men and men only. Any domain that is built on and culminates in the use of force should be exclusively accessible to males and males only. Politics is the province of men, an opinion born primarily through observation, basic pattern recognition. It's not a cultural phenomenon, it's a biological one. And this isn't some radical opinion, mind you. Hell, this is most of human history prior to guzzling the progressive swill of the 20th century. I didn't get to this point by drowning myself in an echo chamber with the works of patriarchal men. Hell, it's mostly from other women. The anti-suffragettes, Florence Nightingale, and of course the great Lady Vicky, Queen Victoria. In fact, let me read this piece here. Florence Nightingale once famously stated, "Women have no sympathy, and my experience of women is almost as large as Europe." This quote, on the surface, seems to suggest a lack of empathy within the female gender. Nightingale, a pioneer in the field of nursing, had a vast exposure to women during her career. However, it is essential to understand the context and explore the deeper meaning behind the statement. When Nightingale refers to sympathy, she may not be implying, which is code for I'm inserting my modernized ovarian political perspective here, a complete absence of empathy, but rather highlighting a potential societal limitation that women faced during her time. In the 19th century, women were often constrained to specific roles and domestic duties, leaving them with limited opportunities to exhibit empathy on a larger scale. Okay, let's unpack this here. First off, this does not exclusively pertain to the 19th century. This is most of human history, for heaven's sakes. Secondly, empathy and sympathy are emotional tools. They're not supposed to scale. They're for the proximate and the immediate. The further you get away from what is intimately familiar, the distance increases the chances of empathy and sympathy being weaponized and used to manipulate you. How you could see being weaponized in politics today, it's been a disaster. But I'll wrap it up with this. Women leaning left, men leaning right. This is a problem. You see, the reason we have elections is because they're a cheaper proxy than war. In elections, the bigger side wins, which would probably be the case with war too. But in elections, no one dies, and you don't have to spend money on weapons, etc. So it's a good proxy. However, it doesn't work when one side is significantly weaker than the other, such as when women are on one side and men on the other. In this case, even if the women outnumber the men and would win an election, the women would not win a war, and so the proxy is no longer an adequate proxy. And if we were to switch from election to war, it would be one side that is mostly women against another side that is mostly men. Men would easily win with very small casualties. So why would men consent to be ruled by elections when they could more easily win a war? This is why women should never be allowed to vote. It nullifies elections as proxies for war, and we end up having to have war instead. My observation. Cheers for watching, and once again, I apologize for nothing.